Autumn in Beijing is pure magic. Cool air, blue skies, and golden leaves everywhere. In this video, I'm sharing 6 amazing things to do this fall. Let's dive in and see why Beijing's autumn is truly unforgettable. Number 1. Eat your heart out. Food is a huge deal in China, and let me tell you, Beijing's food is seriously unforgettable. There's an old Chinese saying, bread is the staff of life, 米是为天, and it really shows here. You can find pretty much every type of Chinese cuisine you can imagine. So no matter what you're craving, Beijing has you covered. Ask anyone who's spent time here or anywhere in China, and they'll probably tell you the same thing, myself included. It's the food they miss the most. Eating out is super common here. Tipping isn't expected, so eating out is super affordable and stress-free. Number 2. National Museum of China. If you're interested in exploring Chinese history, art, and culture, the National Museum of China is a must visit. Hop off at Tiananmen East Station before exiting the metro, tap and pay. Security here is pretty strict. You'll need to scan your ID and have your bags checked. Exiting the metro, I'm heading to the museum through a special passage. Built in 1959, the National Museum of China sits in the heart of Beijing at Tiananmen Square. It's an impressive landmark and one of the largest museums in the world. At the museum's main entrance, all visitors must go through a security check. The museum stretches 7 floors, 5 above ground plus 2 below, so you'll definitely want to wear comfy shoes. If you only have a couple of days in Beijing, plan for 2 to 3 hours here. If you're a history buff or want to slow down and soak in everything, block out half a day. The National Museum of China, or NMC for short, is basically a time machine that takes you through 5,000 years of Chinese history, from ancient jade carvings to modern art, and even the story of how China became what it is today. Each hall feels like stepping into a new era. You'll see ancient scrolls one moment and futuristic art installations the next. It's like binge-watching Chinese history, but way prettier and more Instagrammable. And when your brain's full of history facts, grab a coffee or check out the museum gift shop. They've got some amazing souvenirs. When you're visiting Beijing, don't skip the National Museum of China. It's not just a museum. It's a crash course in one of the world's oldest civilizations, wrapped up in stunning architecture and totally free to visit. Number 3. Temple of Heaven. Beijing's full of world-famous imperial landmarks. But if you're short on time, I'd say spend your precious hours at the Temple of Heaven. In a bustling metropolis, hopping on the subway is the smartest and fastest way to explore the city. I saw some women dressed up gorgeous Qing Dynasty clothing. The ticket for the Temple of Heaven is about $7. You can rent an audio guide at the park entrance. The Temple of Heaven sits at the southern end of Beijing's central axis in the city's southeast. There are 12 million people visit the magnificent and colorful Temple of Heaven every year. Built between 1406 and 1420 during the Ming Dynasty, the Temple of Heaven was where emperors of the Ming and Qing dynasties prayed for good harvests. Symbolizing the ancient Chinese belief in harmony between heaven and earth, its deep cultural and spiritual significance has made it a beloved sight for both locals and travelers. The Temple of Heaven was added to the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1998. You will be amazed by the stunning architecture and symmetry. The main hall, the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest, is one of the most iconic buildings in China, perfectly round, built entirely of wood without nails, and painted in rich blues and golds. The design reflects ancient cosmology. Heaven is round, earth is square. Once you step in the site, you feel peaceful atmosphere. Beyond the historical temples, the whole area is a huge park filled with old cypress trees, open lawns, and traditional stone pathways. The oldest tree at the Temple of Heaven is around 600 years old. Locals come here every morning to do Tai Chi, dance, or play music. It's like a living snapshot of Beijing's daily life. Number 4. Inner City Art Galleries. When you visit Beijing, you definitely shouldn't skip the art galleries. If you don't want to go too far, check out a few inner city spots that capture Beijing's vibrant artsy spirit. Markhor Cave is right in the heart of Beijing, within the East 2nd Ring Road. Super easy to reach by subway. The 6th-floor building is stunning. The building is easy to see from a distance, with unique architecture and creative design covering about 35,000 square meters. Walking inside feels like stepping into a modern cave, filled with light, texture, and imagination. It is a retail and art experience space that combines home decor, contemporary art exhibitions, and stylish cafes, all under one roof. I love the dramatic interiors, mural-covered walls, and cool lighting here, plus it's never too crowded, which makes it super chill. It's a perfect taste of New Beijing, artistic, creative, and inspiring. Number 5. Hidden coffee gems in Beijing. In Beijing, coffee has become the new cup of tea. You'll still see big international names like Starbucks, Tim Hortons, and Costa Coffee around. But what really stands out are the local Chinese cafes, each one with its own vibe, style, and creative twist. I'd heard so much about Stillwater Cafe that I just had to check it out for myself. Enter the main entrance from the side alley. The moment I stepped in, the peaceful Chinese-style courtyard completely drew me in. The first floor is bright and peaceful, with huge windows looking out onto the Hutong. Inside, wooden furniture, green plants, and books create a space you'll want to linger in. Stillwater is known for its pour-over coffee from Colombia, Ethiopia, and China, plus pastries and Chinese tea, served in elegant porcelain. Upstairs, the rooftop terrace is the perfect spot for afternoon tea and watching Hutong life below. Sitting there with a cup in hand, it feels like old Beijing and modern comfort blend perfectly together. Number 6. Traditional bookstore. One of my favorite things in Beijing was finding hidden gems with real history. Zhenyang Bookstore is one of them, tucked inside a 700-year-old courtyard in the heart of the city. It feels more like a traditional Chinese home than a bookstore, peaceful and timeless around its ancient pagoda. As I wandered along the brick paths, the noise of the outside world just disappeared. Autumn chrysanthemums were in bloom, and the wooden buildings looked so serene and beautiful under the soft autumn sunlight. There are old and new Chinese books, with just a few English titles here and there. If you're after something a little different in Beijing, Zhenyang Bookstore is a must-visit. A place to soak in traditional architecture, local culture, and the city's quiet, poetic charm. That's a wrap on my favorite things to do in Beijing this fall. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching. See you in the next adventure.